Hi guys, so I'm back to do a reading for today. This is actually going to be another kind of just intuitive, universal read for random stuff. So anyway, I wanted to introduce Fingerprints of the Gods. This is by Graham Hancock. Pulled this out the other day to dust this bad boy off, and I can't wait to get more into it, but I did want to go ahead and just open to a random page and see what we can see. I'm going to get the cards for the page as well. Let me see. Yeah. Can you guys see the book? Yeah. Okay. So we got the Death card in reverse. And then we also got the Page of Cups. So there's no end to the offer. What offer? I don't know. Let's find out. With a cow involved, it would have been the age of Taurus, although the Egyptians knew the difference between bulls and cows as well as anyone. But a much more likely contender, at any rate on purely symbolic ground, is the age of Leo, from approximately 10,970 to 8810 BC. The reason is that Sekhmet and the agent of destruction of mankind referred to in the myth was leonine in form. What better way to symbolize the troubled birth of the new world age of Leo than to depict its harbinger as a rampaging lion, particularly since the age of Leo coincided with the final ferocious meltdown of the last ice age, during which huge numbers of animal species all over the earth were suddenly and violently rendered extinct. Mankind survived the immense floods and earthquakes and rapid changes of climate that took place, but very probably in much reduced numbers and much reduced circumstances. So we're going to keep that bad boy for next time because I really like that book. And I think it's interesting that it said there's no end to this offer, so it's continual. It kind of feels like with extinction events and the idea that, some of us are going to make it and some of us are not going to make it. Not to be, kind of macabre, but I just think that that's also very much about the cycles of life and survival of the fittest and all of the different kind of ways in which the world ends up. Sometimes endings happen quickly. Sometimes they happen slowly. Sometimes they don't happen until the middle of the road. Things happen in different sequences and different places for different reasons. But they all really fit together as one large event, which is basically the essence of who we are. And that's a never-ending cycle or a never-ending offering of life that we are able to partake in. Too pretty, right? Okay. This is a magical book. It's the Element Encyclopedia of the Psychic World. We're going to just, manhandle this bad boy. Well, here we are. Gnosticism. From the Greek gnosis, meaning known. Gnosticism was a school of mysticism that flourished in the early years of Christianity. It was based on the idea that it was the search for a hidden spiritual knowledge rather than faith or conduct that could save a person. Gnostic sects varied in their approach to esoteric truth. I don't know why I'm just now starting to feel like I can't. Okay, anyway. They varied in their approaches to esoteric truth, basically. And some focused on techniques like astrology or numerology, while others concentrated on the secret teachings of Jesus. All seem to be influenced by the controversial belief that God has a dual nature, that he is both masculine and feminine, and his feminine counterpart takes the form of Sophia, the divine wisdom. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Today's the 28th. Sorry. Sophia. Sophia is the divine wisdom. Okay. So basically, Gnostic practice was forbidden by Orthodox Christianity, but the movement never lost its influence and survived in the followers of the Kabbalah and in secret societies. And then in 1945, the Gnostic Gospels were discovered in Nag Hammadi, Egypt. The discovery confirmed that Gnosticism was part of the early Christian practice and that many Gospels had been suppressed by later church factions. As a result, there has been a revival of interest in Gnostic Christian traditions. So I think that's really cool to know that, like, we just actually pulled the same information from both. It's talking about a cycle of life. It's talking about the way the sacred divine wisdom is moved through history, through time and space. And that's by word of mouth or by books like the Kabbalah or like this one that we were just looking at or this one that we're reading from. So I think, I've always thought that books are largely people's intellectual property, which is why I love them so much, and also why they're so largely revered as being dangerous at times. The burning of books and bras and, all these things. It's ideas. It's passing along a fire, lighting a candle, and lighting someone else's candle with yours. That's what books are, is lighting fires amongst the collective. And it's such an enlightening process. And to know Gnosticism, to know what that has to do with the earth and the cycles that the earth naturally goes through and how those things are intertwined with each other in science and in faith is very much exciting to me, at least, to think about. Just, it makes you wonder about so many different facets of the quantum world, Okay, so macromancy, derived from the ancient Greek makros, meaning large. Macromancy is the word used to describe divination by studying the largest object in the area. Whether a rock, a tree, or a house, the object is studied and the seer interprets. Size, general shape and color, and the closeness of objects to others or the distance from them have all have their place in interpretation. So I'm largely of the frame of mind that you can't judge someone else's art. Some people can dribble like a couple little splashes of paint on a page, and that's art, and they pay thousands of dollars for it. Some people have to spend hours and go to school for years and study art history and blah, 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 blah. Everyone has their own learning style. And also with God or with divinity, your spirit is going to have a conversation that is different than anyone else's spirit. So I can't tell you what you're going to see. I can't tell you how to apply macromancy. But I can tell you that it's a pretty cool thing to experience. And it is about taking the moments to understand what exactly is around you. Which is just, awareness. So as you work on your spirituality and as you work on that meditation, those moments in between activities or whatever is, those are the moments that are pivotal for us to actually focus on, and where you can find the greatest joy is in the transition between the two, from this moment to this one, and it's like it's an easy shift. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It can just be an acknowledgement and some gratitude. And that's about it. So, anyway, y'all. I'll see you next time. Oh, wait, hold on. Before I go, I kind of do want to draw some animal oracle cards off these, too. Yeah. Okay, those just flipped out. Like, I didn't even try to flip them out. So, actually, I do need to shuffle these. If you watched my video the other day, I didn't shuffle some. Those were the same cards. They're right on top. I can't stand it when that happens because it gets y'all excited. Like, those just flipped, but the universe was just telling me, like, shuffle, these are still here. It wasn't being urgent, it was being sarcastic. Like, shuffle this, please. Okay, so let's see what comes out. Okay, so I have the bull and the tiger. So the bull is renewal, fertility, and growth. Bull cults are ubiquitous in ancient cultures, whose devotees worship the beast as a supreme deity. But the bull was also a symbol of renewal, and the creature was ritually sacrificed, with its blood sprinkled on the spring fields to ensure new growth. In ancient Greece, these rituals were associated with Dionysus, the Greek god of vegetation and renewal. Dionysus was frequently represented as a bull and sometimes as a goat. He was dismembered by the Titans and subsequently resurrected. The Spanish bullfight is a vestige of the ancient bull sacrifice. The Minotaur, another deity from Greek mythology, had the head of a bull and the body of a man. It is also associated with the sacrifice and the symbol of renewal. The slaying of the Minotaur, the devourer of youth, restores life. Fascinating. Oh, this card is really pretty. I really like these animal cards. They're just kind of stunning. Standalone. Okay, so the tiger is primal power, creation, sexuality, and perception. While all the feline images denote powers, tigers are particularly powerful. In China, they are considered the kings of all beasts. In Hindu mythology, the tiger is associated with the goddess Kali, who represents creation, sexuality, and death. In traditional Sumerian cultures, tigers were killed only in self-defense, out of fear of inspiring the collective hostility of other tigers. When Europeans began setting tiger traps in Sumatra, the local inhabitants would go out to the traps to explain to the animals that the devices were not constructed with their consent. In this painting, Tiger Eye, the tiger is framed in a kind of cartouche, which implies regal status and emphasizes the eye of motif. Like all cats, oh my gosh, I don't know what's wrong with my mouth. I guess Mercury is still retrograde. Oh my god, Mercury is still retrograde. No comments, okay? Like all cats, tigers have binocular vision. Sorry, I guess I'm gonna have to read like I'm like 7 because I can't read. And the ability to judge distances accurately. The eye of the tiger symbolizes sound judgment and keen perception. Sorry if that was like the most distracting thing ever, the way that I was reading, because I couldn't even pay attention. My mouth was getting on my nerves. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Let's go to half. That isn't anymore. Oh yeah, if you like this video, could you please like drop a like, share, comment, subscribe down below, please. Dankeschön. Y'all rock.